In Brawl Talk, we saw this little snippet of what appears to be a new player title for Lily, but they didn't show us any of the other ones, so here I sit without a script. This is my prediction for every single one of them. For Shelly, she's a classic, but I have a feeling it's gonna be pretty simple. For Nita, she has so many bear puns in her profile that I think it's only reasonable for them to add one more. Colt is super charming, he has the charisma, here you go. Bull, this is both one of his voice lines and a pun from his super. But for Brock, they added to his lore a little bit later that he's a hardcore gamer, so I think this one's pretty fitting. And El Primo, our Spanish supernova wrestler, I think he finally becomes a superstar. Barley, arguably the best bartender out in these parts, I think he can be pretty simple. I like how Poco's description says that he never stops playing even when he's asked to. Okay, not gonna lie, this one's kind of hard, but she's a botanist and she punches pretty hard, I think, so just take this. Alright, hear me out. Words like engineer and builder, they're way too basic, but Prodigy, that one has aura. Two things. Dynamite is old and he blows stuff up. What do both of those have in common? Boom. In the early days, Tick was described as something with like so much pent-up excitement or like so much energy that was about to burst, but that's long gone. But regardless, he's like a cannon on Daryl's pirate ship, and also I think it's only fair to honor the mythic gear that he'll probably lose in one of the next updates. Also, if you've noticed that I'm not being my loud self, that's because this is my first ever recording session at 1:30 a.m. Anyways, for 8-bit, back in the 80s when arcade cabinets were super popular, everyone wanted to be that one person who broke the game's record and had the high score. This one's pretty easy. Look at Moyo's Discord profile. I am not a fan of the first title they gave Daryl, but two things he says I think are really good contenders for this. Okay, so Penny doesn't care about studying old maps or doing puzzling sea shanty riddles, which are half of the things pirates are supposed to do, so like, she doesn't even follow the rules of being a pirate. And Carl, he is so nerdy that Supercell literally gave him the nerd lisp. Jackie's current mastery title with all like the censored swearing stuff, it's definitely due for an upgrade. Also, she's a driller. Fun fact, in an old video, I said Gus's second title was going to be Supernatural, and then it actually became one, but since that one's off the table now, take this. Alright, so two things I know about Bo are one, he survived in Rumble Jungle for a long time with just gift shop items, and two, he's a very big fan of peace. If you ever got friendzoned by Ems, you were way too desperate. I mean, she is way too My favorite Stu main Sullivan said that Wicked is a bad title, I think. How did these ones look? Ever since 2017, everyone's always been talking about Piper's sugar and spice. And then later, they would talk about her baking skills. Is it really that hard? Slight ball knowledge required for this one. Many years ago, the tank class were actually called heavyweights, and Frank was always at the top of that class, so here's this one, Frank. BB mains, I might need some help predicting this one. This is all I have for now. B's current title is actually pretty good, but the only thing it's missing was of course a bee pun. Nanny literally exists to be a nanny cam, but she's also one of the most gentle people I've ever seen. Apparently, according to Edgar's mom, he's going through a phase, but in reality, I got some bad news to tell her. My new title for Griff actually came from Cairo's time. As for Grom though, one's me trolling and the other one's me not really trying. You're gonna be surprised by this one, but if you look really closely at Bonnie right there, Gale is ancient. This dude is so old that just, sorry bud, this is your title. Colette kind of scares me because not only is she a super fan, but she also seems to love taxes. I think she's a bug. We've all seen true gold skins, right? Well, in Belle's default skin here, her arm is already gold. Okay, this one's kind of not me predicting the title. I just wanted to say Stinky Steven's a really good Ashman, so Lola's ego makes me want to punch a mirror. Look at Sam. He's a no-nonsense former blue-collar worker who literally has a voice line that says, "Playtime's over, kids." Candy is sweet, but Mandy is sour, and she also has a really good aim. She like saved me in the workplace. Here's this one. Switching to Radio Hank, all for you, Spen. And of course, your title did make the video. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think Pearl was the first brawler to ever say the word carnage. What personality do you get from someone who has two heads? Gossiping all day, every day has got to lead you to a title at some point, right? Oh, Barry. He's a tough workhorse, and apparently he has the patience of a saint, so just have these two. This one's either a terrible pun or a really good one, but Shade is just a lump of clothes, and where do clothes come from? I just watched Meeple's release animation. Not only is he a cheater, but his name also kind of sounds funny. There's only one answer that this title can have. I was gonna rage bait Mortis Beans by calling him bad, but I can't do that. And also, I'm gonna rage bait them by giving him a bad title anyways. Sorry, bro. Tarot cards, fortune teller, psychic. Do you want this one? There are way too many lights in my face for almost 2 AM. But oh, Gene, I think his super in real life would be pretty handy. Or if you use it offensively, just slappy. Max is fast. Not only is Mr. P a really bad boss, but he's also not really good at English, and he only speaks gibberish. Not gonna lie, I stole this from Mythic. Thank you, Mythic. And then Byron, literally a potion making dude who tries to sell snake oil. Oh gosh, Lou, Uncle Lou, man, he's frostalicious. Just saying, I could literally hear the Brawl Stars team saying that he's the goodest boy. This title was given by a primary source. You're gonna hate this. He abuses his authority on. Fang, hear me out. The Furious skin is actually a really good input. But Eve, I can't stand her. She's a parasite. She's literally just an infection. But Janet, hear me out. She literally flies with her super. She's amazing. She's sky high. All of that stuff gives her this. Did you ever hear the saying, someone has a bubbly personality? That's cool. Now, oh, Buster, I saw a really good one from on Twitter. Shout out to whoever made it. Graves was my favorite one to do so far because I didn't have to talk and use my voice. RTs, I think I saw in a Carnage game video a few years ago. Willow, though, she's a mastermind of manipulation, and she literally controls you if she hits you with a super. Yeah, I've definitely made this one before for Doug. I actually had to Google the one word in Chuck's description because I have never heard it before, so that explains one title. The other one can be explained because it says he was once brilliant. Every time I use this word in a video, someone asks if it's a JoJo reference. It's just the name of her circus. He's not an actor, he pretends like he's a star, he probably makes minimum wage holding a microphone. Anyways, he's full of himself. I will not make an inappropriate joke. I will not make an inappropriate joke. I will not make an inappropriate joke. Anyways, we're just gonna make them off of her description. At least I'll get one of them right. Okay, so Clancy's scheming here. He's faking it. For Mo, I was gonna say Digger, but then I wasn't really digging it. Yeah, I got nothing. One of my favorite things all he says is, "I'm not sure, I'm just vertically deficient," or something like that. A passionate metalhead. Okay, that's enough for me. Finks. Anyways, this one's totally not a reference to me trolling someone that you've probably heard of. Okay, so him singing karaoke is definitely so pleasant to the crowd, but on top of that, him pre-gaming the karaoke makes me wonder, what on earth is this liver made out of? Allie, I got nothing. Look at her super, it says stalker, boom. Mina is a B-girl S tier. Look at this electrical energy. He's probably really good at shocking his audience. No matter how you put it, these strings will always be attached to Gigi, I guess. And now this next title is going to be the words of my best friend Moya, who was so kind enough to say, Spike is silent and he is deadly, especially if the wrong person is playing as him, so just have this one. I guarantee you we are all thinking the same exact thing for Crow. What do Leon and John Cena have in common? I wanted to ignore the whole sleepy thing altogether, but then take a bit of a bigger step, because he's dreaming, man! I've said it before and I'll say it again, I don't think I would last 5 seconds in a fight against Amber. Okay, so Meg is known for having voice lines that make people mute the game, and she just talks too much. Okay, so for here, OJ, you can thank me for this first prediction because it'd be a really fitting title for you. But the second one is just tribute to my favorite voice line in the entire game. Jack of all trades? Okay, yeah, that makes sense for his build, but he's still a joker, he's still a jester, come on, man! I was once told that Cordelius isn't actually evil, but he's actually just super territorial. I mean, look at his super's name. This is my domain? Kit. He's entitled. He's perfect. Sometimes, wow, that was a really insane. Anyways, if a cat, you throw him off a cliff, he lands on his feet. And he's not an assassin, no matter how much you try to say he is. We're in the final 5. I don't plan on taking any longer than I have to. This one's definitely about what Kenji does to Sushi, not describing his looks or appearance. And now look at Piers. He's not just perfect, but he... Man, gone like the wind. She is... And finally, for this last one, I was listening to a song with Supernova in the title, so I thought it was only fitting that the brawler who brought back lore to Brawl Stars gets... I look like a mess, but now I gotta edit, so see you soon.